Yes or no? Did you chair the March 31st, 2016 meeting of the National Security Advisory Committee?
I did chair that meeting.
Thank you. Yes or no? Did Mr. Papadopoulos mention his outreach to the Russian government during that meeting?
He made some comment to that effect,
Yes,
as I remember after having read it in the newspaper.
I asked for yes or no. I don't have time.
Yes, all right.
There are reports that you shut George down, unquote, when he proposed that meeting with Putin. Is this correct, yes or no?
Yes. I pushed back, I'll just say it that way, because it was...
yes. Your answer is yes. So you were obviously concerned by Mr. Papadopoulos' connections and his possibly arranging a meeting with Putin. Now, again, yes or no, did anyone else at that meeting, including then-candidate Trump, react in any way to what Mr. Papadopoulos had presented?
I don't recall.
Okay, so your testimony is that neither Donald Trump nor anyone else at the meeting expressed any interest in meeting the Russian president or had any concerns about communications between the campaign and the Russians?
I don't recall it.
Okay. Now, we know from multiple sources, including the Papadopoulos guilty plea, Carter Page's interview with the Intelligence Committee, and Donald Trump Jr.'s emails, among others, that contrary to your earlier testimony, there were continued efforts to communicate with the Russians on behalf of the Trump campaign. We have established that you knew about at least some of these efforts. They caused you such concern that you, quote, shut George down. I want to know what you did with this information. Yes or no? After the March 31st meeting, did you take any steps to prevent Trump campaign officials, advisors, or employees from further outreach to the Russians?
Mr. Nadler, let me just say it this way. I pushed back at that. You made statements that he did. In fact, at the meeting, I pushed back.
We know that. But did you, after the
No,
meeting?
I'm not. I have to be able to answer. I can't be able to
I'm
be put in a
asking you,
position
yes,
where
I
I
only have
can't
5
explain.
minutes. I'm asking you.
I'm not going to be able to answer if I can't answer completely.
Well, you said you pushed back. We accept that. After the meeting, did you take any further steps to prevent Trump campaign officials, advisors, or employees from further outreach to the Russians after you stopped it or pushed back at that meeting?
What I want to say to you is you allege there were some further contacts later. I don't believe I had any knowledge of any further contacts, and I was not in regular contact with Mr. Papadopoulos.
So your answer is no because you don't think there were any such contacts. So
I'm not aware of it.
Okay. So I was going to ask you a question of did you raise the issue with various people, but your answer is no.
To the best of my recollection.
Okay. So your testimony today is that you communicated with nobody in the campaign about this matter after the March 31st meeting because nothing happened.
Repeat that.
Your testimony, therefore, is that you communicated with nobody in the campaign about this matter after the March 31st meeting.
I don't recall it.
You don't recall. At some point, you became aware that the FBI was investigating potential links between the Trump campaign and the Russian government. After you became aware of the investigation, did you ever discuss Mr. Papadopoulos' effort with anybody at the FBI?
Did I discuss the matter with the FBI?
Yes.
To ask them questions about what they may have
Did you
found?
discuss the Papadopoulos question with the FBI?
I have not had any discussions with Mr. Mueller or his team or the FBI concerning any factors with regard to this
Nobody else at the
investigation.
FBI either?
No.
At the Department of Justice?
No.
At the White House?
No.
Any member of Congress?
Well, I don't know if these conversations may have come up at some time, but not to obtain information. With regard to your broad question, I don't recall at this moment, sitting here, any such discussion.
I have one further.
It's important for me to say that.